Hey friend, how's it going? If you are new here, my name is Jean and I talk everything business, growth, becoming the greatest version of yourself, and that beautiful healing journey that we're all on. So if you are interested in any of that, be sure to click follow, subscribe, whatever the hell they say on here. But I just wanted to share a topic on limitations and how your limitations, your perceived limitations, are probably some of the greatest sources of growth and transformation and elevation that you have right now. But the only reason you're not going to get the growth you want out of it is because your perception and your opinion and your perspective on it is completely skewed or not in a growth mindset in order to make and take everything you can out of that experience. Because a great thing about limitations is that it forces us into contact with reality quicker, harder, harsher sometimes than comfort will. And yes, even though that is very exposing and vulnerable and uncomfortable, it creates a place where we can actually take action from a place of clarity and being in touch with reality rather than not understanding where we are. So we can't really understand where we need to go or what steps we need to take in order to move forward. So just maybe wanted to share three mindset slash maybe actionable takes that you can implement literally within the next 24 hours just to get you moving in the right direction and just to get you on that growth path and making progress. I'm assuming if you're listening to this that you don't want to stay stuck in life, you don't want to stay stagnant. So, let's get into those three really great tips. So, the first one, and you've probably heard this before, so I may not be saying anything new, but I really want you to take this mindset shift and start implementing it, right? Don't just hear it, don't just say, yeah, that sounds good, I guess I should do that, but actually start to engage your mental processing and your physical action to live out this mindset. And that is going from I can't to how can I. And yes, like I said, it's cliche. You've probably heard it. You probably already know this. But the difference in that gap is, are you actually executing and implementing this mindset shift, right? And it's going from expending more energy, complaining about the problem, you know, like moaning and groaning about it, playing the this isn't fair, I'm a victim mindset, to going to being solution oriented, to going to using your mental capacity, your emotional energy to start thinking about solutions, to start thinking about, how can I make small progress, to start thinking about what does it look like to overcome this. And that honestly is going to be a night and day difference. And the truth is, the energy we expend being stuck in I can't is actually the exact same energy we can spend being a solution seeker. We just happen to go to the I can't because it's easier, because it's more familiar, because maybe we don't actually have to get into action in order to think about ways that we can improve. But truly, if you want to get out of your limiting situation, your limiting beliefs, your limiting mindset, then you need to make that shift to being a how can I person. And I know I had to do this as well. I do this to this day, of course, because I just realized if I'm going to make progress, then I can't stay stuck. And I can't. That's the one thing I can't do. But what I can do is start to be a how can I person. All right, step two, or I guess mindset two, is that limitations force prioritization, and prioritization can be a superpower. When you have limits or constraints on your time, your energy, your finances, whatever it is, your capabilities, then it forces you to focus and actually do the most effective actions and do the most effective tasks that are going to move you forward. So I kind of thought about how, if you have $100 to spend on your groceries for the month, you're probably not going to buy things that are going to be gone in a flash, or not going to nutritionally fill you up, or that are not going to last very long, or they're not gonna make you more hungry, or they're not gonna be just junk food. Because you're like, well, I only got $100 this month, so I'm buying beans, I'm buying rice, I'm buying tofu for me because I'm vegan, I'm buying things that I can stretch for 30 days because all I have is $100. And I remember, like, I've been in that situation, right? Like, where I had a very small budget, but I needed to feed myself for a very long time. And you just learn to focus and to put your priority on the right things. And again, that is a superpower. And it's not to say that you stay stuck there because you think you won't be able to continue to prioritize, but you learn the lesson and you build the muscle of being somebody who can take what they have currently and maximize it to its fullest capacity. And even for myself, I think about those seasons in my life where I didn't necessarily have a lot of time to work out, for example. I had 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here. I was working 2 jobs, working a night shift job and working a day job. My energy was low, my time was low, my capacity was low, but I said, you know what, I got 5 minutes before I have to leave to go to my second job, so let me just do some 10 push-ups, 10 squats, 10 like a 10 minute, or not 10, what am I saying? 10 crunches. I'm like, what's an ab workout that I do? 10 crunches, and I'll call it a workout. But I didn't do nothing, but I said, hey, my priority is to do something, so I'm just going to focus on what's going to help me make progress. And it's incredible how when you start to focus and prioritize, life shifts, seasons change, but your priority, that muscle of focusing, that muscle of being effective and efficient with what you have, over time, you start to gain abundance in these areas because not only do you know how to work with what you have, but over time, life gets better when you put that energy and time into the areas that matter to you, because you will naturally just get better and your life will get better and circumstances will change. So it's so incredible now today, like I'm getting fitter, but I'm not necessarily working out more. I've just learned to be effective because I'm doing the right things. I'm engaging with the right habits. I'm prioritizing the right things. So I'm able to do more with either the same amount of time or sometimes even less. And that is a superpower. I feel like I've gained so much life back because I have so much time. It depends on the day, depends how focused and on top of it I am. But it feels like my life is just so much more expansive and bigger because I learned this muscle in a season where my limitations were very high in multiple areas of my life, but I decided to use that as a superpower and as a tool to stay more focused, to stay prioritizing, and to learn what actually is effective and what's actually going to get me from point A to B, and what needs to go and what isn't necessary because it's not really getting me anywhere. Does that make sense, right? All right, number 3, and I think this is a big one. This has to do with comparison, this has to do with perspective, this has to do with your internal story that you're telling yourself about your circumstance, about who you are, and that is connecting with others. And you're either going to connect with others and see other people's success or see their abundance in areas that you have limitations on as proof that, we've heard this, people say this before, oh, they are lucky to have that, but not me. Or of course they can do that because they have X, Y, and Z, but not me. Or you see it as proof that the system is rigged against you, instead of seeing it as proof that if someone can achieve and have access and build and create this abundance for themselves, then so can I, right? I don't have to stay stuck in my limitations because if it's possible for one, it's possible for me. This is undeniable proof that someone has done it before. And again, it goes back to that mental game, because if you are telling yourself that people are better than you, then you're not going to achieve it. But if you're telling yourself that no one is better than me, maybe they just happen to make different decisions, or they know things that I don't know yet, or they have just been further along the journey, then it means it's possible and I can learn. And to take that a step further, it's asking yourself, how can I learn from them? What do they know that I don't know? Is it possible for me to reach out to them and to ask them what they've done to get to where they're going? Because that is some of the most powerful ways. Association is so key in order to progress, because you start to learn things from experience, from wisdom, from people who've maybe started out in a limiting, scarcity, fear-driven place and made those steps along the way to get to here: abundance, capacity, wisdom, success, progress. So I really like this shift is also super powerful. Stop seeing people as a reason why you can't and comparing your step 1 to their step 100, because that is just foolish in my opinion. It's such a waste of time. It's so disparaging. It's so discouraging. It's not going to get you anywhere. But just start saying, wow, like if they can do it, so can I. If they can do it, why not me? If they can do it, what do they know? If they can do it, how can I learn? If they can do it, then nothing's impossible, right? So I just really wanted to encourage you to stop comparing yourself to others and start learning from others. That shift is going to take you so far, because not only will you not be expending emotional, mental capacity or energy comparing, but you're actually going to start taking physical action because you know it's possible, and your belief and your conviction about your ability to make it possible is going to rise so high, and you are just going to continue to make that progress. So I felt like that was rapid fire a little bit, but I really just wanted to help you shift your mindset around limitations, because I know right now, perhaps on a microcosm, perhaps on a macrocosm, we all feel like we are living with limitations and scarcity and fear. Perhaps we are being bombarded with this message externally or internally. We are living in a place where that is just where we are. And I just want to share that I've been there. You know, I remember and I can feel so viscerally what it was like to be in those places. And I look back and I know who I was and I know what I experienced living in that season. But I can also see how making these shifts and honestly just taking those baby steps over time has brought me to this place where I would not say I live in that season anymore. I don't live with that mindset. I don't live with that belief system. I do not identify as somebody who, you know, needs, even if I do have limitations, because we all do to some degree, I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't see it as something that hinders me from progressing. I see it as a tool. And honestly, I see it as I'm going to use this to my advantage because I can. And it's going to be the thing that propels me to the next level that I'm seeking. Just like I used it as a tool to propel me to this level where I'm at today. So I just wanted to give you that encouragement. Maybe a challenge, maybe a word of encouragement, maybe a reminder, maybe a new perspective shift to help you continue to make progress. So if this did resonate, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow me on my other platforms at jean.onison. I am a business owner, I am a dreamer, and I'm just here to help all of us make progress, make those shifts internally and externally, so that truly we can become the greatest version of ourselves, because why the hell else are we here? Anyway, have a great day. We'll see you soon. Ciao, bye, peace, and love. All the things.